Morgan Stanley's market update and bullish Palantir perspective. Cost pressures should make companies accelerate investments in automation and productivity-enhancing technologies. Many of these technologies are inherently deflationary. Persistent inflation in areas such as labor, supply chain, and energy give rise to transformational investment across industries. While cyclical forces tend to deter investment in an uncertain macro environment, Morgan Stanley believes structural changes in demographics, energy policy, and security makes technologies focused on cost reductions and productivity more valuable. Focusing on stocks that enable this productivity and cost reduction through automation, efficiency, or their own declining cost curves while maintaining strong barriers to entry and attractive equity risk-reward, the investment firm has created a deflation enabler shopping list. C3, Palantir, Snowflake. Enabling more efficient supply chains and logistics with better use of data. Consolidating multiple data sources and making it usable to solve some of the most difficult problems facing organizations and governments is the core functionality of all of these vendors. In the context of Morgan Stanley's report, C3, Palantir, and Snowflake have talked to a significant use case within their customer base of driving logistics and supply chain efficiencies with their software. Morgan Stanley focused on one vendor in particular. Palantir's core Foundry data platform accelerates the integration of data, allows simulations against that data, enables real-time alerting for any potential disruptions in the data, which allows customers to optimize and find efficiencies in supply chains and logistics. In an inflationary world, Morgan Stanley believes companies that have developed deflationary products and services will become increasingly valuable, so long as those companies have significant barriers to entry with respect to those products and services. The bank has developed a global shopping list of overweight rated stocks that provide such deflationary solutions for their customers. How do they define deflation enabler? Morgan Stanley examines stocks that produce tangible cost savings for their customers where costs themselves are rising due to inflation like labor or energy, or scarcity like semiconductors or materials. In many cases, the cost of the product itself has also come down through technology or economies of scale, benefiting the purchaser and therefore adoption on both lower costs to implement and higher cost avoidance through use. AI is proving relentlessly and increasingly deflationary. This cheap and increasingly powerful compute has allowed training for AI models that are not growing at the rate of Moore's law would have predicted, but instead far in excess of this rate. The history of investment in AI is usually told as a story of booms and busts, but that is not reflected in the historical trend of compute used by learning systems. The race for AI superiority, driven in part by desires for national and corporate innovation superiority, is accelerating at pace.